Hip-hop moments of clarity.
Hip-hop moments of clarity.
Yo, what's up? It's JFK here with the Double XL Hip-Hop Moments of Clarity podcast. We got another good one for y'all. We're sitting here with our fearless leader, Vanessa Satin, editor-in-chief.
Hi.
What's up, baby?
Hi. We're missing somebody. We got no Roger today.
Yeah.
No Roger
And
today.
I wasn't here last week, so that's fine.
But we got Wayno here.
I'm here. Where's Roger
He's
at?
here.
A little Skies.
Double
Little
representing
Skies,
this
concert?
Rock Nation hat today.
No, this is my
going
logo.
on?
This is Triangle Office logo, and I just.
So
got
what are
the-
you biting the Rock Nation logo?
No, I'm not biting the Rock
Look at the
Nation.
stripes
He's biting
on
the
it.
Transformers, B.
It's black and white, man. It's black and white. Okay, that's the only thing.
Why don't I have a hat?
I got you. You don't wear hats.
I know.
Right, it's crazy. You gotta sit in the room and make artists sign it.
It's where my free try-out hat is sitting right now. I don't wear hats.
Right. V does not wear hats. I said, where's Roger at though? Is he at a Little Skies concert?
Roger went to Nashville. He's back
Yeah,
today.
he did
He's
say
not
that
at
he
a
was
Little
going.
Skies concert. No.
He did say
Little
he was
Skies
at-
is off tour.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes,
Off
that's
tour.
their stuff. He's off tour. Little Skies and Slump God both pulled themselves off tour for health reasons, right?
For health reasons?
These young guys are just tired, I guess.
Maybe
What's
just not
that
ready for the
about?
road, too. Because, I
Yeah.
mean, this is also probably new for a lot of, like, these up-and-coming artists that just blow up really quickly and then get on the road. And
He got too much money, man.
yeah.
They, like, listen.
I don't know.
I ain't got enough money to come off tour.
It takes a lot to go and come off the road, and I don't know. I hope they feel better.
I hope they
Mhm.
feel better too, but stop it. Y'all young
Right.
ass men. Slow down.
Don't be a
Yeah.
hater.
I'm not a hater. I'm just saying, like, come on. Like, I always say that to my son. He'd be like, well, I'm tired. I'm like, tired of what? You're 10. Like, what are you tired from? You're 10 years old.
Right.
And what's his answer?
Nothing. He just, like, once I start talking like that, he just gets quiet. But, like, what are these rappers? All right. Oh, I'm tired. This is too much. Making too much money. I need rest.
Making too much
You
money.
fucking getting money to talk.
They're giving me too many free products.
Yeah, I can't take this shit.
I can't
I'm
take
getting
all
gifted
these shoes.
too much.
I'm getting
Yeah.
gifted too many shoes.
Yeah, where I'm supposed
I
to put all
can't
of this
stop
stuff.
it. What do I do with it? I need more storage.
Stop it. Get to work.
All right. Fabolous.
Ah,
I don't know.
Man.
That story was pretty crazy. So Fabolous arrested, domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, the scene got a little bit crazy. We saw some video of him fighting with his long-term girlfriend, Emily B's
right.
father. Was there a knife? Was there not a knife? Everyone seems to say there was a knife in the video.
I
didn't see the
thought it
knife.
was confirmed it was scissors or something like that.
It's the first time I heard scissors.
Yeah, I heard scissors. I was
Okay.
randomly watching TMZ and they was like,
Randomly.
yeah, randomly. It was on and I watched it and they was like, yo, it's scissors. Because somebody was like, it's a knife. He's like, no, it's scissors. I don't know why he had scissors in his hands, but
Right.
you know, like, it's just that whole situation is like super unfortunate. Like,
yeah.
I don't know anything personal about Fab, but we've seen him and his family. You know, every Halloween they all dressed alike. When the Human Races dropped, all of them had them matching. Like, they always do fun things in the public eye. So, and Fab's been a pretty private person his whole career. So it's like now to see something like this is kind of shocking.
Especially at this point in his career for this to happen and come out. It's,
Yeah.
like you said, it's shocking because he's been so private over his whole,
right.
career.
And it's at a point too where it's like, this is gonna slow some shit up for you. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna slow up. Like nobody, for what he's accused of doing, to a woman.
It's what he's accused of doing for a woman, and it's also the response from her on the camera. I think a lot of people
Right.
saw the video and felt like she responded.
She was really frightened.
Like she was really frightened, and we're totally speculating.
Right.
But like she was frightened for a reason, like it wasn't the first time. So I think that's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the bad press he got, although nobody really knows if it's true or not.
Right.
That her response threw people off, and then he went to the show the next day,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And I think that was a little bit of a backlash. I mean, not a huge, but that he showed up at the event, although he's supposed to go out there and
Right.
and survive and pay his bills and pay his legal fees or whatever.
Right.
But I think that was some of the negative response he got, in addition to the whole abuse of women.
Yeah.
But it was interesting because a lot of people, what I read a lot about online, where people were saying, well, I heard she was messing around, as if that excused him hitting her 7 times.
Right.
If that's really happened,
Right.
if it was really 7 times or whatever. So the controversy of if she was stepping out, then people, a lot of dudes felt like it seemed, in my conversations, felt like he was hurt and he responded. And a lot of people are like, yeah, well, you must have stepped out on her. You could have stepped out on her before.
Right.
And did you really have to beat her up? So there's
Right.
does that excuse it, or is there another way? So I think there was a lot of conversation off of that.
Right. And you know what's crazy? Like, this doesn't excuse it, but we had like somewhat of this conversation, off air one time. We gotta go say everything we said.
Right.
But what I will say is that there is a double standard when it comes to men and women, specifically when it deals with domestic abuse. Because when a woman hits a man because he might have stepped out or something like that, it's like, cool. Why is that? Because women are naturally weaker than men, right? Now, if you was Ronda Rousey, though,
I was just gonna say that. If you dating Ronda Rousey, bro.
Yeah.
Right, and if you did knock her teeth out.
Yeah, I mean, allegedly, right?
Allegedly. I don't know. I was
Allegedly.
not there. I don't know anything of what I saw in the TMZ video. But I'm saying if he did knock her teeth out, that shows a little bit more strength. I don't think you so often hear it the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, you don't. Like, you don't. I'm just saying it's like, it's just crazy how things are. Like, how they, how they flip them. I mean, it's unfortunate, period, because at this point, like, Fab has gotten through he's like 20 years in. Like, he has a 20-year career.
You've been covering Fab for a million years.
Yeah,
like, when you have a story like this that you have to cover from someone you've been covering in anything but being disrespectful to, like, he's not known to have any sort of history of disrespect for women.
At all.
So it's, I think it's shocking to anybody who's covering it.
Right.
Anybody who knows him or anything like that, because you're just like, I didn't see this coming whatsoever.
Right.
However, you're never in anybody's personal space to know what life is really like.
Yeah.
And we still don't. And we still
we still don't know. We don't know.
I'm not trying to defend him or defend her. I just don't want anybody to get anything for any trouble that they didn't do if we're wrong. However, he was arrested for that, but I'm not sure what.
It's so crazy. I mean,
I'm not sure if he had scissors or a knife.
Right. Sometimes I just hate the fact that I got to know, like, my favorite entertainer's business. Like, and I don't even want to know. It's just like something happens. And the way, like, media is just, like, pushed at the forefront where you can't avoid it. And,
Especially now.
yeah, now it's
But
like you can't
if you
avoid
take a hip-hop
anything.
thing, you have a lot of blogs, right? So
Right.
the blogs are writing the same thing that the websites, that our news sites are writing.
Right.
So you're dealing with a community in general that has so many different outlets that are trying to write about it.
Right.
And everybody's competing with each other over what the traffic is. So if everybody's writing that story, it forces everyone else to write that story.
And then they got to write a little different story.
And then do they have a
Right.
relationship, or do they
Find
care?
more
Are they writing it in
info.
first
Right.
person? Do they have any credibility to write about it? Are they just picking up what everyone else reported over and over?
Right.
But there's not, to me, there's, sports lives online, hip hop lives online.
Right.
There's sites that have a lot of, they're like cultures that have a lot of different, or entertainment that has a lot of different media outlets.
Right.
There's other things that we could pick in entertainment that doesn't have as many things writing about it on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just purely anything that happens in hip hop, there's so many different places, and because it's mainstream,
Right.
it's not just the hip hop outlets writing about it anymore. It's every entertainment
Yes,
outlet.
everything.
It's Page Six. It's the Daily News. It's blah blah blah. Because now the culture is mainstream.
Yeah.
So you rewind a few years ago, and Fabolous has an incident like this, and it's not going to have the press that it has today.
Right, and it's crazy that you say that
trend.
because now you have artists who are implemented on ESPN. It's like it went from them, Stuart Scott, rest in peace to that great man, like referencing hip hop lines and them playing a song here or there, to where now I see artists go up on sports shows and I'm like, you don't even look like you've done anything athletic, nor have you ever said anything in your music about knowing sports.
Right.
But here you are giving your opinion on on sports activity, where sports analysts don't come into hip hop though. Like, you're not going to see Stephen A. Smith like giving reviews with Double XL.
But we would welcome him as a guest on our podcast if it would be entertaining for the
Yes,
day.
we
Right.
would, Stephen A. Smith. Yes, we would. Let's be the first. But it's just, it's crazy how these things run.
And
Facts.
you have with their situation, you have a celebrity woman involved. It's not just Fab is
Right.
the only celebrity.
Mhm.
Emily's got her own following
Right.
with Love and Hip Hop, with other stuff. So you see her physically, or, the name trending during the day because so many people know who she is.
Absolutely.
So you're dealing with, it's a different level of celebrity, but you're dealing with the same type of thing like that.
I thought it was
mean-
interesting. I'm sorry. I thought it was interesting too at the Terminal 5 show the next day. Like, he came
Who was
out.
that? Him and Jada? Who was there?
Him and Jadakiss,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
And he came out and, he thanked, fans for supporting him and everything like that. And, he got some applause. But I just thought it was interesting that he still did the show, that, I think it puts Jada in a funny position too.
Right.
Like,
Well, Jada had to sit there and promote him on social.
right. He had to promote him. He had to,
Because they're in a group together.
right. They're in a group. And it's like, do you
Yeah,
just
man.
not, you know, if you do feel a certain way about the allegations or whatever's come about, like, do you then not do the show and then stop your own money? Like, it's
ain't gonna do that.
Right, that's not gonna happen. So it's a funny sort of thing.
It's crazy. Right? I mean, it's crazy, man. You know, I just hope that they can both get through this, whatever it is gonna be. You know, because we've never seen Fab in this light. You know, we've never seen. I mean, we've never seen him and Emily in this light together. Like, you know,
yeah.
But like V said, like, you never know what's going on in someone's life. So.
Never seen Chris Brown in that light before. That happened.
Right.
You're right,
Yeah.
but Chris Brown was a lot younger. The only thing is we're talking with Fab at a 40-year-old man, I think, almost. I mean, approximately. I don't remember, 39, 38,
and he's a
40.
father,
I think so. We're looking at, I think that the fact that we didn't see anything like it or hear rumors or anything, per se,
the Chris Brown shit
over
just came
20
from
years, Chris was young.
Yeah.
And ever since that incident, he's still done some questionable things, not violently towards a woman, but there's been definitely Chris Brown moments. You're like, what are you doing? Since then, that was questionable. I don't think Fab's really had a history of that, or anything. So I think that's why people are thrown off, because it was never like, you don't think him as a violent dude. You haven't heard the rumbles before, anything like that. Then when something like that happens, you're like, wow, I knew the dude for how long? I never thought so and so. But part of me wants to say innocent until proven guilty, but
it's a
does
slippery
it work
slope.
that way? I don't even know.
Yeah,
I don't want to defend him because.
We just got to see how this thing pans out, right?
Yeah. It's almost like we have him sentenced is gone and everything, and it's still got to unfold itself.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't know. All I do know is that after that, Baby and Wayne are back together.
What?
Nice.
I don't know. I can't.
You want to switch that one over? From breakups to makeups, we're here.
Breakups
I see what
to
you did there.
makeup. That's all we do.
No, so Birdman and Wayne are back together. So my assumption is that Wayne did not get out of his Cash Money contract, and they figured out a way to be friends again. I could be wrong.
If you can't beat him, sign back to him.
I don't know if you ever unsigned. That's the thing.
Right. I mean, but the thing would. Then 50 Cent said this long ago. He's like, yo, people have to be careful what they say about Wayne and Birdman, because they can forgive each other, but they might not be so forgiving of the people who had their own opinions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing now is, like, I always said this when it regarding.
He was bars over there blown away by that a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, it was like, whoa.
Right. Deep. But we just really don't know what it is. Me personally, this is my own theory of what I think the whole shit is. I think that Birdman probably knows somewhat of the business, but it's a lot that he might have not known.
What kind of business?
Of the business that he was signing as far as these deals.
Birdman or Wayne?
I mean,
Wayne, Birdman. Like, both of them. I think both of them were very uneducated in a lot of different aspects. Now, this is just my own opinion that doesn't matter. It's not literal. It's not out the Bible, the Quran, or the Torah. Please don't take it that serious. So I'm just thinking, like, yo, I don't think that Birdman knew everything he was doing with as far as his business acumen. I think that he was getting shit done, and he was signing shit, and he started noticing that, all right, I'm kind of up, but he didn't know how, and then once he figured out how, he just kept doing shit. Like, for real.
Shit that brought him.
The same shit that because there's a lot of things in hip hop business. The numbers are so insane, and it could be nothing or it could be all of everything. So it's like you can't really determine sometimes what you're gonna get. Like, you can't say, all right, this is the amount of money I make every year. You never know. So I think a lot of shit was just them winging it, and it popped. And by the time they looked up, they was signing all types of bullshit.
I want to give my opinion, like, also not from the Bible.
Right.
Go figure.
Like, I think Birdman had a good idea of what he was doing, and I think Wayne didn't whatsoever.
Right.
And Birdman, like, he
fuck it.
Yo, like, nah, you gotta sign. You have to do 30 albums with me. Like, that's the contract or something like that. But it wasn't 30 albums,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, though, it's like, all right, the reason why you're gonna do it is because y'all are making money.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about it is, like, what I learned in music is that you can be making money, But if you learn, like, even if you have $50 million, right? Like, let's say you have $50 million, and you're like, damn, I got $50 million. I did all right in life. But you find out that you're supposed to have another $50 million. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hold up.
Right.
I shouldn't have been buying all these chains. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that it's just a lot of bad business done around the board, and they're not going to get anywhere going forward if they're not in tune with each other. Okay. You know, so I think if they are, you know, cooling out, this is a start to probably mending the relationship.
Yeah, we've seen this shit before. I mean, we've been here before. Remember Soldier Remix, and Jay was going to try to sign Wayne, and that was all happening. And then, if I remember, Wayne got a statue with like $1 million, or I don't know how much money, frozen inside of it at one of his parties. And there was like a money statue or something for his birthday.
Heard that one.
Yeah, there was pictures of it. Maybe I'm making it up. I don't think so. I remember that. You know, and then he paid him off. Then, like, we've seen a few different times where Wayne was unhappy, and then Wayne and Birdman renegotiated at some point. If you look at the history, you've got Wayne going back since he was 12 years old with Birdman. So the relationship with the family, the relationship with everything they've been through is way longer than I think we're giving it credit for. In addition to, sometimes you get signed to people and they're just not going to let you go.
Right.
Like we saw that with 50 and artists before. If they're not going to let you go until go do something or whatever. Right. Or somebody's got to buy you out of your contract. Right. So the question I'm wondering is if nobody could literally afford to buy Wayne, or the value of what it would be to buy Wayne out of his contract maybe wasn't worth it. Right. That at this point, after a year of trying or whatever it is, it makes sense to go back to Birdman rather than move yourself even further away.
Right.
But we've seen it happen over and over again where Wayne never officially makes the break. Right. Why? I guess the question is, why doesn't the break ever get made? He's either so paperly, gangsterly locked down and contractually obligated to him that he can't get out of it, that nobody's paying to get him out of it, or that Birdman's literally taking it so personally, he's like, I'm never going to let you go.
Well, the thing is like,
I don't know.
I feel like Wayne's stock has dropped tremendously because in the midst of all of this.
So what's the value of your buying him out of?
Right. It's like, why am I going to buy, you know, at this point, it's like all of these kids are Lil Wayne now. Like Trippie Redd, like Thugger, Uzi. Like, think about this, right? It's so crazy. Carter 3 came out like 10 years ago this year. Yeah. Came out in 2008, right? Now, a lot of these kids who are 18, they were 8 years old when this shit dropped. Now they've become Wayne. It's like dreads and face tattoos. Wayne was the only person that had like dreads and face tattoos in 2008. Yeah. Now, every time I open up my phone and I see a new rapper, it feels like kind of not wrong, but it's like I'm used to seeing new rappers. When I see a rapper without face tats, I'm like, wow. Because so many of them have it. So it's like Wayne's stock has just dropped. So it's like he might need to just stay there. Like, at this point, honestly, with the whole Hove on the side, like, what is that today? Like, what is that today? Don't nobody give a fuck about that. Like, let's keep it 100. Like, if he was to sign with Rock Nation, nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares about that stuff anymore. No.
Yeah, like,
I mean, back in the day when you thought he was going over to the Jay and I think it was T.I. and Wayne at the same time, or Wayne and all that, everything there. Yeah. And that was it. But nobody cares now. Nobody cares. Under Rock Nation. It's not that. I mean, everybody, I think, for Wayne is the Carter 5 ever going to come out, and is it anywhere what everybody's been waiting for the past 5 years?
I doubt it. I doubt that the Carter 5. I doubt it, yo. I think that, like, Wayne.
I mean, you can't get around that project. You can't dead that project because people have it built in themselves.
Yeah.
You've got the guy buying it or whatever, Shrek, whatever his name, buying the whole thing. What did he really buy? Is it really the only copy? What are we talking about? You know, if you have Fire Music, you tend to just actually put it out.
Right.
How long is he going to sit? The question for me is Wayne capable of creating Carter 5 to be anywhere what we expect it to be off of the Carter 3? And is there an issue where he just can't get that project, so it just never comes out, and we're not going to accept him and be into anything until we get the Carter 5?
You know what's so crazy that you say that? We just, like, totally skip Carter 4. It's like it don't even exist.
I know, right?
For real, it's like the Carter 4 don't even exist. That's why I don't think he could do it.
Well, the Carter 3 was the one that everybody loved. The Carter 4 was supposed to be the mess-up. A
Millie was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
A Millie was 10 years ago, bro. Like, and it's just so crazy now that I'm like, wow, I don't know if Wayne can, because Drake has become such the phenomenon. Like, Drake is this generation's like best rapper. Yeah. So it's like literally, I mean, like, not skill wise. I mean, like, the most. He's the man. Like, when Jay-Z was the man, when Wayne was the man, he's the man now.
Yeah. Remember, Carter 4 had 6'7" with Corey Guns.
Right. And how long ago was that?
Right. So, but it's just like
That was like
Detox. We are
2011.
banking on
Corey
Carter
Guns.
5, or
Right.
that's the holdout. That's what anybody's waiting for Wayne, and that's what, to me, was put at such a pedestal. Like, oh, Carter 3 was a classic. Carter 4 fell off. Carter 5's gonna blow our mind and give us what we want and be another classic album, whatever 3 was, and it never came. It's Wayne's Detox.
What the hell is Wayne gonna
And we
even
gave
rap
up on
about today?
Detox,
Right.
except for the stupid people who sit there and still claim, "Oh, Detox is coming," but we all were like, "Detox is not."
That shit never
you know,
came
whatever it is. I
They
mean,
tried to
He did-
trick
he
us
did
into the Compton
Yeah,
album. That was
exactly.
not Detox. Like, you know, I don't know, yo.
Well,
Honestly, I think what Wayne should do is pull that Busta Rhymes and just shave the dreads and then get some tattoo removals and be like completely different.
Yeah, right.
That'll fuck everybody up.
Yeah.
that shit would fuck everybody up.
Yeah,
though.
I can't imagine.
for one day,
And just put him
for
on back. Right?
legitimately one day.
That should be his video. Like that should be his video. Like him with
There,
a cut.
Busta did that. Busta,
But he actually
shaved
cut his
dreads,
dreads
and he
off.
held the things to either side and
That was
everything.
double
Yeah.
Like if we're
cover, I
talking
think.
the moment to bring your career back is you cutting your hair,
Uh.
then we're at a bad place.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
and we've been at a bad place for a moment now because like the theatrics of music is more important than the music. You know, it's like whenever we talk about music now, like I remember like I didn't care for sales when I was a kid. I didn't even know shit about sales. I didn't know nothing about sales. And then it's like kids be like, yo, what he did the first week. I'm like, why the fuck do you care about what somebody sells the first week? If you should like the music or not.
Right.
It just makes no sense. But that is what it's going to be going forward. And I mean, if you can actually make some ill music.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
let's go back to G Unit days. They made everything very sound
I think
scan,
sa-
killer,
yeah, 50,
sound
50,
scan.
yeah,
It was very
definitely.
much sales oriented.
Absolutely.
So I think that, and then you had this thing where sales have been harder to quantify, right? So
Right.
we used to be able to quantify success in a winner by even 83 million records sold worldwide, 150 million
Right.
records sold worldwide. So how do we quantify success if it's not record sales? Are we saying it's streaming? I mean, is it
Yeah,
so
because
and so
people
amount
like
of
a billion
streams?
streams now.
So
like-
I guess, but you don't see people running around toting that the same way. You're not
can't,
like when
yeah.
they write about someone, these so and so with 83 million records world. It's not with 83 billion streams. We
Right.
haven't kind of embraced it that way. So I think
Right,
it's this weird
right.
thing is we don't even know what a win is anymore.
How to quantify
like
it,
how to
right?
quantify
Yeah.
what a win is. So I think the only thing people could think is how much sales. They haven't made the adjustment over to streaming be the win. You know, and streaming because I don't think I'm not even good at this stuff. When you land on the charts, is it because of your streams or your sales?
It's because
That's
of your
your
streams.
sales,
right?
And your streams.
Well, it's just, but see, then, of
It's a
course,
mix,
it depends
but
on,
people
yeah.
don't know how to quantify the streams. Like they can sit there and think X amount of bodies actually went and bought that album
Because people actually still go buy albums. Like, yo, I found out that Taylor Swift, but this is Taylor
for
Swift.
hard copies.
Yo, she sold 1.2 million hard copies, though.
Do you own
That's
a CD player?
insane.
Still,
Hell no.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't have, I don't have nothing. My MacBook doesn't even have a CD slot
Yeah,
on it.
that was the only thing that happened was the computer, and
Yeah,
it doesn't even
it's-
have it there anymore.
All of it's
Someone
changed.
came up here with CDs the other day, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, for
It's
real.
true. It's
Like-
It's
true.
like I remember like when I was a kid seeing 8-tracks and I thought it was like video games. Cause my grandmother,
Right.
she kept all the 8-tracks, she kept her vinyls, but it's like
But it just takes up space.
it takes up space.
Yeah.
It's obsolete now. You know what I mean? And eventually, I mean, streaming is the thing now, but there's gonna be something after streaming. There's always gonna be something else.
Yeah.
I mean, I
what
streaming.
comes after streaming?
I don't know.
it's completely digital now.
A chip
It's
implanted in your head. You
It's
just
not real shit. No, listen, but
download it
that's,
straight to
Think
your
An
about
brain.
Amazon
music,
chip.
it just
right. No,
goes
yo,
up.
that shit can happen, yo.
Yeah. Black Mirror season 5.
Right, exactly. They don't show us all this shit for no reason. You know?
All right, we're all over the place. Going
Right.
back, let's go to Tupac.
Okay.
Tupac, Machiavelli liner notes out. Go ahead, JFK, read them to us.
Yeah, so these liner notes from the Machiavelli album surfaced recently. I think a friend of Tupac was said to have them, and
The friend that sat on them for 20 plus years.
yes, and now they're up for auction, and
Need to
they
pay them
I will
bills.
say they're jarring.
Word.
It's hit them up in a loose leaf format. So I'll read some. Or I can read the whole thing. Should I read the whole thing?
I think excerpt is cool.
Excerpt. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So it starts. I dedicate this to Jack the Snitch Agnant, also known as Haitian Jack, for ordering the hit, to Tut for shooting me, To Puffy, Big, Stretch, Lil Sean, Jimmy Henchman, and whoever else remained silent while quietly conspiring my downfall, I thank you. I thank Faith for the greatest weapon ever, her low self-esteem and beat up. All right. Thanks to Wendy Williams for being a fat bitch. Thanks to Mobb Deep for opening your mouth and letting me squash your no record selling asses to dust. To Dr. Dre for being a closet homo. To Nas for not taking my advice and minding his business. To De La Soul for being mad at me and for living well while they live like fat, washed up bums.
Yo, Pac was crazy.
Yeah. To Donnie Simpson and all the comedians who laughed when I bled. To Jay-Z. To King's son, Dookie Lock, whatever. Lil Kim or fat ass weave wearing Biggie short, stubby dick sucking Kim for being nobodies.
Wow.
I'm sorry, that line gets me.
Now it's time to see who's watching too many movies and ready to get their cash on for real. Wartime. Worldwide, nationwide, citywide, exit Tupac. Real niggas do real things. Enter Machiavelli. The end.
Wow, Pac.
So yeah, that's a lot.
So now we've heard that it's up for auction and it's been authenticated by the auction house, correct?
Correct.
Right. So
Ooh,
and it looks like his handwriting.
Yeah, it does.
Yep.
Somebody gonna get a bag.
So
for
who
that.
made the decision that wasn't going to run in the liner notes? Why did that not make it in?
That's a good question. I mean, you know, the album came out after he was already killed, so
Right.
it could have been. I would guess maybe out of.
But it was still
Like his
released
mom.
under Suge, right? So I didn't know Suge not to be political enough.
Maybe his mom.
You know what? I want to protect everybody, but I don't know if I don't remember. I'd have to do research. Did the mom have to do with the release of Machiavelli?
I don't
She
think
had to
so.
do with everything after. I think
This
Machiavelli's
state,
thrown out on death row, right?
It is.
In
It is
the
a Death
last
Row
album. And so the control had to be on that project underneath Suge and whoever was working over there. I don't think the mom had any say in that project,
Wow, yeah.
in the
Yeah, that was
Machiavelli
still-
project.
still a Death
So I'm
Row
curious,
project.
he wrote that. He wrote it before he died. And then at some point, it didn't, for 20 years, it's been hidden. He gave it to his friend. His friend never, did they have it? He didn't know, we don't think he exactly knew when he was going to die. I'm just curious, why didn't it make it out there till now?
He probably just
That's a
found the shit. He probably forgot he had it. Yo, I would have been sold that. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'd have made a copy.
Tupac was like, wait 22 years, 23 years.
Yeah, like wait
Then
20
sell it.
years. No, he somebody needs to pay some bills if they selling some shit like this.
Somebody must have paid him for him to not put it out for that long.
Yeah,
That too, yeah.
to hold on to something like, for that long. I mean, that's
I'm stuck with Wea. How did it get out now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why did not make it in the liner notes? If he wrote that, he wanted them to hear it, right?
Yeah,
Like, that's how he felt.
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Maybe
I don't
that's
know,
what
a good
they
question.
didn't want him to be remembered by. Cause I mean, he said a lot of shit on the Machiavelli album, dissing people and all of that, but putting that in the liner notes, you know, maybe they didn't want that aggression. He just died from gun violence. It was real tense. You know, he died
That's what
and
I'm
then Biggie
thinking,
was
yeah.
still alive. You know, Biggie was still alive at the time. Maybe they didn't want him to be remembered that way. You know, because Tupac.
Anything's possible, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have
But that's
wanted
interesting
him.
is that who was in that camp during this thriving time, right, of death row and All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli and all that, that somebody made the decision to pull back. Was that Interscope? You know, was that Suge? What? Like somebody made the
What if it was
decision
Pac?
to not be as volatile.
What if
He's
he-
dead?
I know, but I'm just saying, like, what if he didn't want that shit to be out? Like, 'cause-
Possibly said that before.
yeah, because
right.
he's had so much music. He could have dropped like 4 or 5 albums when he was alive still. I mean, like, it wouldn't have had the same, like, times was different. It wouldn't have had the same whole rollout and setup, but he dropped like 9 albums after he died. So he had all that music. Maybe he was just holding back on certain things.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
You know? Tupac, wow.
We may
That's
never
still-
know.
His name
Um,
is still relevant every year, like, you know.
And
Chill out, Lil Xan.
I haven't looked at the packaging in a while. What were the album liner notes? Besides the song credits, what was there anything?
It was in a lot of
things.
thank yous in there.
No.
I remember that. It was in a lot of thank yous
the
in that
executive
album.
producer was Simon.
I had the tape. I had the tape and I had the CD. It was in a lot of like. I don't remember a lot of thank yous. It wasn't like a big.
No, it was very little liner notes. It
Yeah.
wasn't a lot. It was one thing. It was more about the image of him on what's
The
it called?
cross.
With the
Yeah,
cross,
on the
and
cross.
then him with the name Simon and him
Right.
being Machiavelli on it. And I
Right.
am alive and whatever it
Yeah.
related to and everything. But I wonder if they
Oh, remember that for like after Tupac died, those 3 years that everybody swam.
Well, it was
God,
7.
was
It
still
was
alive,
7
right?
years that everyone thought he was coming back for the 7th anniversary, like the 7, because he called it the 7-day theory.
Yeah.
So, and then he was 7 days that he was alive after he was shot. 7, 4.
Yeah.
He died at like 4:31. 4 plus 3 is 7.
Yeah.
Everybody did everything.
People with a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's because a lot of that shit is just really
I went
coincidental.
with it for the first few years.
For
I was
real?
like, yeah.
Oh,
Give up
man.
somewhere. I don't know. I didn't know how much I really believed.
Remember that video, Smile with Scarface?
They thought
Yeah.
that was him
That
in
was
the video.
crazy,
Yeah.
yo. You ever seen that video, Barry, where the dude was up on the cross and he looked exactly like Pac.
But wasn't it him and they shot it earlier?
Nah, it wasn't
no,
him.
it wasn't him. It was just
It
I don't
wasn't
remember
him.
what the story was. There was
Yeah,
a story.
it wasn't him. It was the video he did with Scarface, Smile.
I interviewed his mom at where she buried his ashes on her property on the 7th anniversary of his death.
Wow.
I was like, well, he's gonna come back. It's gonna be today, and I'm gonna be here.
Right.
But it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Okay.
Right.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert. Guess what, y'all?
Well, you know, if anyone's interested in owning this, these notes,
Anything-
really about to
right, and that's
I'm
the thing
cool.
is, if you buy it, we said, what do you do with it?
right? What do you do?
I'm turning it into merchandise.
It's at 300,000 now, right?
It's at the minimum bid is 30,000. The auction starts Wednesday, April 11th.
Then I'm spreading straight wrong rumors.
That shit is gonna go up to. What you think it's gonna go up to? That's what we needed to predict.
So the estimate they have on the site is 50 to 75
Who was it? I
racks.
hear it say 300.
For the whole thing?
Yeah, for the. I mean, it's just that one.
It's just that.
It's one sheet. Yeah.
Oh shit, man! I could look at it right now and go print it out. Fuck, am I buying that for?
Right.
I'm not buying that.
I thought it was I thought it was like other
Like
stuff
a
on the
whole
sheet,
thing.
and that was just like that's just a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people
just
like
that.
I ain't gonna front. I would like to own like certain stuff, but like not Tupac.
What do you want
to?
to own that's hip hop memorabilia?
Michael Jackson's hair.
Oh, nah.
If Michael Jackson had like a wig,
He
But
did.
like-
he wore a wig all the
Like
Hell
time.
yeah.
afro hair, or
not the
like
afro hair,
Jerry-
like the
They said he
Nah,
had a
I
wig all
want
the
the
time
afro
after
hair,
the
bro.
Pepsi commercial and
Yeah.
his head was burnt.
Hell yeah, I will buy that.
I think that's gross.
I'd want his black nose.
I'd buy that.
That's
The black
gross, too.
nose.
I know,
He still had
I
a.
know
Oh
that.
yeah, the nose that got cut off,
Yeah,
right?
B. I kind of want that nose.
Now it's
bro.
man shit I would like to
See that
own.
nose, put it
But
up on
like
the
hip
mantle.
hop shit.
Right.
Wow, hip hop shit. If I could get Nas's book that he wrote Illmatic in,
Facts.
I would love to have that. But I went like, see, if I did something like that, I would just turn that shit into a museum. Like
Yeah.
I make Illmatic an exhibit for lyrics. Damn, I'm giving away too much game right now. I would make Illmatic a museum for lyrics and artists to come that were inspired after. Like we would do an exhibit with J. Cole, Kendrick, all of that. But I would use Illmatic as like the foundation for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Illmatic Museum. We don't have a hip hop museum, do we? Like a real official hip hop museum.
Not really. I
Not
mean,
really, right?
the Smithsonian, I think, has a bunch of hip hop stuff in it. The African American History Museum, but
We don't got shit because we
Just-
spend all our shit on jewelry. We spend all our fucking money on jewelry. Like let's get 100 bands from each and every one of these artists and make a hip hop museum where we can induct our own hip hop Hall of Fame.
facts.
All of that shit.
And
That'd
they'll
be
make money off of it.
Yeah,
Start
and
the
make money
GoFundMe
off of it.
today.
to make more money off of people doing a tour in it. Is that
Doing
the
a
point?
tour,
What's
right?
the goal of it?
What I'm saying is this, right? Okay, so like in Harlem we have the Schomburg Center, right? The Schomburg Cultural Center, and there they have like liner notes from Malcolm X. Like they got the letter he was writing letters he was writing Elijah Muhammad when he was in prison. They got all these ill pictures of him that you could only see in there, right? So I'm like, yo, we're hip hop. Why don't we we always got every time somebody gets inducted into a Hall of Fame, it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why the fuck are we getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Because I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame blankets over a lot of different genres of music at this point. It's not really just rock and roll.
But hip hop
So
is
it's
the most
become almost like
influential.
the Music Hall of Fame, right?
Right.
It's kind of that called the Rock and Roll of Fame, but
Right.
it looks like it's more of a Music Hall
It
of
should
Fame.
just
at
be the
this
Blues
point.
Hall of Fame then, because rock and roll came from that.
Right, but my thing is this, right?
Different direction in the argument, but I hear you.
But my thing is if hip hop to me is the most influential genre of music ever. I mean, you could look at every corner of the world and see kids break dancing,
Yeah.
see kids rapping, see see kids like using our. Korea has like a Migos group. They have a group that's like the Migos from South Korea. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hip hop is
Hyde
like
Brothers.
this. Is what I'm saying. Like it's so influential. Why don't we have our own hip hop museum? We should have our own hip hop museum where shit like Illmatic, like somebody could go to Nas and say, yo, do you still have that book? Would you be willing to put this in? I mean, I understand the MoMA shit and all of that. That's cool.
I think it's the problem is who's doing it. What's the financial gain? Why are you empowered enough to have everybody's stuff be donated and you're going to make the money off of it? How does everybody get something out of it? If
we should all make money off of it.
the money off of it, then how do you break? It just becomes probably a big thing of how do you even get to that point?
And we can't do it because we've been too busy buying cars and shit. Telling you, yo.
Here's something that I was thinking of, just to touch on something similar to that, like the fashion industry,
right?
Like how Kanye would talk about not being able to, like, get into like the high fashion industry,
right.
I don't know. I was thinking about like hip hop having its own like high fashion industry.
Yo, you know it's crazy that you say that?
Like with different branches with like ASAP, Kanye, like
yo, Dapper Dan spot in Harlem. Dapper Dan, he's just opened up a spot. You know, shouts to my man Jelani, his son. He has a spot in Harlem where like it feels like a museum. Like I ain't gonna lie. And of course, it took forever and a day for Gucci to act like.
But Gucci's funding it, right?
Gucci is funding it
so
because
you had to get to the point for Gucci and mainstream. We got an email the other day from YSL because they wanted copies of the 21 Savage cover story that we have right now. And they wanted a copy of it. You rewind a few years ago, those brands do not want the artist wearing them.
Yeah, they don't.
Let alone now asking us for copies of it, right? That's left field. So I think your thing is that it's been going on for years, but Gucci, all of that have just realized we can put money into this. It's okay if we align ourselves with it. Right. So Gucci is supporting Dapper Dan. Dapper Dan's been supporting Gucci for how long? You've got this thing where all those other aspects are realizing, hey, we could stand next to hip-hop now.
Right, and the thing is, because hip-hop is the most, because it's a lifestyle. Yeah. It's not just words, you know what I mean? It's life, it's how you feel, it's how you act, it's how you talk, it's your way of life. Like, hip-hop is a way of life. And my thing is like, yo, for it to be larger than life and to save all these people's lives, there is no real, like, core appreciation. Like there is no, I heard that they were trying to make some sort of council or something like that, right?
Yeah, everybody has, but it's always the weird people doing it. And you're like, who's gonna listen to those people?
Right. But my thing is that there has to be some sort of connect.
But you're creating it. I hear you. You're creating with a culture that's not known to give back like that, right?
Absolutely.
So that means they have to give back time, effort, money, attention, all of that stuff to build something that's cool. And in my personal experience, it's not the biggest gift. Like, looks good to give some turkeys out for Thanksgiving, but like on the grand scheme of give back, I don't think hip hop's leading the way with that. Maybe music genre is, but I think you're asking a lot from people who normally tend to fall in a lot of a very selfish space often.
Absolutely.
And I wonder how you get past that selfish, because literally, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the artists that we talk to want the museum of themselves.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Now you're asking them to pay tribute to people, and we found out it's a culture that doesn't really pay homage to the older people anyway. So until we make that shift where we are excited and you can get a whole bunch of veterans to go on a stage, Madison Square Garden, sell it out like Rock could and have everybody show up for it, I think it's this hard thing. It's like we almost want to give the Rock, like it almost like they'd rather give it to the young people than the old people. You know, so it's this weird shift is we have to get to this point where we respect the culture as a whole in order, and people want to do that and put their money towards it. And I think that's the challenge.
It is a big challenge.
Because you're all worried about Migos right now.
I was just about to say that because I was about to say, like, to me, I don't care what nobody say, the Migos are hip hop. And it's like,
absolutely.
People
but you think the Migos are focused on now working on HipHop Museum?
No.
That would be part of them to do it.
What I was saying is like how you was saying, like, people want it of themselves because you have this big coalition of people who feel like the Migos they ain't this, they ain't that. It ain't Tribe Called Quest. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, appreciate Tribe Called Quest for what Tribe Called Quest is. And appreciate the Migos for who they are. Yeah. And appreciate the Lox for who they are. And appreciate De La Soul for who they are. Because they all a part of this one thing. It's not like they over there and they not over there. Like, I'm pretty sure people wouldn't just pair them together. But if De La Soul being a 3-man group, or Run DMC, I mean, rest in peace to Jam Master Jay, but Run DMC or any of these groups had the opportunity to talk with the Migos, there would be an ill-ass conversation there. Because they're groups and they're both in hip-hop and they both come from the streets and hip-hop comes from the streets. And they've both had success. All these people have had success. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wishing on a fucking star too much.
You know what's crazy, though? I think
you're wishing
you would
on
have a better chance of getting a Dirty South Hip Hop Hall of Fame, an East Coast hip hop Hall of Fame, a West Coast.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think
Right.
you could pull off a West Coast hip hop Hall of Fame and have E40 with fucking Tupac and
Right. Because
You know what I mean?
they were all active at those same times.
exactly and even Game and like I feel like in the different regions like you won't find anyone from Atlanta that doesn't respect Andre 3000. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
you're not gonna find that.
Right. Like you won't find anybody in Atlanta,
That's
in
a
the
good point.
South,
Yeah.
that would ever say anything disrespectful about Andre 3000, but you could come to New York and find people who say disrespectful shit about every artist that came before them that did shit.
New York is like a hater culture though.
It's the hater culture for real, yo. Like OD, because like there is no in the South there is no disrespect for their elders.
Right.
Like they,
And that's
even,
just Southern, like, also just Southern, like, manners and etiquette.
but in the West Coast, there's no disrespect for the elders unless it's because hip hop culture. I remember Game saying this. Game was like, "Yo, we don't have hip hop culture in the West. We have gang culture, like in L.A., like Los Angeles, which is a big part of hip hop. They was like,
Right.
"Yo, our shit is not hip hop culture. It's gang culture." So there's certain artists who never work together because of that. There's certain artists that never get a chance to do music or never to get a chance to appreciate each other or say nice things about each other. But they are all a part of this one thing. You know?
Right. Right.
I just love hip hop.
I feel like you might cry. Is that a little tear?
Nah,
Sarah's got
it
a
takes a
tear in
lot
his
for me
eye.
to cry. I ain't gonna lie. A good movie, a really good movie could get it out of me. But other than that, Kobe retiring made me cry.
Did Moonlight make you cry?
I haven't seen Moonlight.
I haven't seen it either yet, but I heard it was really good. Be looking at it like we crazy. I know. I need to watch that.
I haven't seen Moonlight.
I didn't see Black Panther yet.
Yo, see now we
Kick
looking at
off,
you
like,
you
get- cut her mic
Wakanda
off.
forever.
I went to go see it, fell through. I tried to get it on my what is it? The
What? The Fire Stick?
Fire Stick. That didn't work. Everything has stopped me.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'll just wait for video.
Oh, man.
I also don't know superheroes too well.
What else we got?
All right, what else we have going on? Baby and Wayne have already been back together. We know that. Damian Lillard's shoe.
Oh, yeah.
Damian Lillard releases a shoe to pay homage
There.
to
400
400
degrees.
degrees.
Juvenile.
It's just red.
It's red.
Yeah.
And gum. Bottom.
And a gum sole bottom. Yeah.
I don't.
mean-
I just don't understand what it has to do with 400 degrees.
He's hot. He has a. I mean, he's hot. Oh, whoa, pause. What I mean about him being hot, he's hot in the season. Like he's been having a very good season this year. So
Yeah.
that's where it could come from. But I mean, I think he's just paying homage to an album that maybe means something from him. Most of the times when you see basketball players do collaboration shoes, like LeBron has this thing called a LeBron watch, and it's basically like he redid the Air Max 95 neon greens with his shoe. He did the Ken Griffey's influence on his shoe. He put Deion Sanders' influence on his shoe.
Those Griffies are fire.
Yeah, the Griffey joints is
I
fire.
just saw.
And he did the Air Moabs, the ACG joints. So I think it's just like him paying homage to like growing up like in Juvenile. Damian Lillard's from Oakland. He raps. Maybe 400 Degrees, one of his favorite albums.
Well,
Put
he
a
said.
400 on it. A little degree.
little-
Something.
Well,
I
he
don't
said-
get it.
I mean, the whole joint was just red because fire, right? That's how the album cover looked.
But
Yeah.
it had orange in it. There was heavy orange.
It was. But see,
Little-
remember
We're a little purple in the middle.
we used to think that the Hot Boys.
Like if he pen and pixels it somehow, if there was some sort of pen and pixel, little diamonds on it, whatever it was.
Them
like
babies,
the logo, I don't
babies
know.
coming for that. I mean, Birdman is coming for that royalty check.
Exactly,
Once that
right,
happens,
exactly.
you can't go too crazy. Because
All right.
if he didn't like Damian Lillard, that probably couldn't happen.
We were wondering what Juvie gets out of the whole thing. Did he get anything? Is he just like, that's cool? Does he know about it? We don't know.
You know what's so crazy about that album? It sold 4,000 the first week and went on to sell 5 million.
Oh wow.
Only sold 4,000 the first week and went on to sell 5 million. So
Wait,
Right, yeah.
is that the album with Rodeo and all that?
Rodeo.
No.
No. That's
No.
not. That's the joint when he came back to Cash Money.
No,
Okay,
this
okay,
is
okay.
the.
That's high. That's
High,
back that
yeah.
thing
Yeah,
up.
that's high.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
really the main
98.
introduction. Like we had Bling
98.
Bling and Hot Boys, but this was the introduction to them. Really.
Yeah.
Besides all that, yeah.
Because they had a lot of independent releases that weren't
He
commercial.
had independent. He had Soldier Rags. He had a few different releases
Mm-hmm.
before that. But then you had the Hot Boys kind of take off, and you had BG and Bling Bling kind of, BG and Bling Bling. But BG was in jail at the time,
Right.
and then it really was the video
Yeah.
at first.
Yeah.
What's dope about it, I mean, it's going to educate, like, for his younger fans, that'll educate them on the music.
Yeah, that's
You know?
true.
Sure.
And he said, yeah, 400 Degrees takes me back to my childhood. Everybody in my neighborhood listened to that album. You could ask 10 different people, and they would have 10 different favorite songs.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Look at this little Herb thing that he did just rapping over Who Run It by 3 6 Mafia.
Yeah.
Now, all these young guys that probably, some of them, I'm pretty sure a lot of them never heard Who Run It before. Now they're freestyling over the beat. So it's like that record lives on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
All right, Kanye is in Wyoming, maybe. Making an album, maybe. With Rick Rubin, maybe.
Right.
Got nothing.
With Rick Rubin, like, okay. I mean,
Kanye got some pressure. Kanye can't put out a subpar album. He's got to put out a stellar album.
yeah, he's not putting out. I don't think he's putting out anything subpar. He's never done anything subpar.
I didn't love the last two. I said it.
I really did not like Yeezus.
I like Yeezus.
I didn't like
Yeezus.
Yeezus.
So
I didn't like it
much
at
is
first.
Really?
Crazy. Like, yeah, bro.
Really?
Yeah. Cause like
I hated it at first.
Yo,
And that
I
shit
still
goes-
hate it. I only like
it
3
'cause-
songs off of it out of 10.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, New Slaves is
like
my
it.
shit.
Yeah.
Pound 2
Uh-huh.
and the joint with Chief Keef.
That's what's funny. Bound 2 was my
Did we
least
figure out who
favorite.
Pablo was?
Pablo Escobar.
Was it Pablo Escobar or Pablo Picasso? Did we ever, with the Life of Pablo album, did anybody ever really figure out what Pablo or who
It was
Pablo was?
Pablo Escobar. I'm
was.
pretty sure. Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah,
a. I
right?
think
It was
was
Pablo
a,
Picasso for a moment.
I
Let's
think there was
see.
a biblical reference there.
It was
I forget
biblical.
exactly what it was, but there was some kind of like biblical connection about the Pablo.
That's the least Kanye album I've ever listened to.
Was it The Life of Pablo?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Pablo
the
to me.
least I've ever listened to a Kanye album.
He did.
I probably only listened to that shit like 10 times, if that.
Did he ever work with Rick Rubin before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick Rubin
Yeah.
worked on Yeezus, I think.
Worked on Yeezus.
Yeah, he did
okay.
Yeezus.
Yeah, I believe he
Mhm.
helped him on Yeezus. Well, worked on Yeezus with him. I wouldn't say helped, but.
I feel like Kanye, like early in his career,
Mhm.
I'd love to see how that would be, like him working with Rick Rubin early in his career, because I just like
Well, I mean,
how Kanye would want to like.
I was around
you
for
know,
a few
true.
college dropout sessions. I was in the studio when they did 2 Words.
Oh, word.
Oh, word?
I was in the studio. I was working at Rockefeller at the time.
Right.
They did it in Quad. I was in the studio when they did 2 Words because I used to be around Freeway a lot, you know. And Freeway, the reason why he put Freeway on there was because Freeway was like the only artist on Rockefeller that fucked with Kanye outside of
Yeah.
like nobody. Like Kanye is on. I think it's Turn Out the Lights. He does the hook on Freeway's song, Turn Out the Lights, on Freeway's first album. A lot of people don't know that that's Kanye on there. Kanye is on Never Change.
Yep.
You know what I
On the
mean?
chorus.
On Blueprint. He's on Never Change.
Mhm.
Even though my man HipHop wrote that hook, though. My man HipHop wrote that hook,
Ooh,
but
dropping gems.
yeah. But I mean, like Kanye, what I always love about his music is like it's a multitude. Like he brings everybody in, to create one thing. So I just want to hear him talk about like political views somewhere. Not crazy, not crazy.
Is he known for that?
Not political.
The
I
guy
mean,
who went on stage with Trump?
Worldly
right,
views,
like-
worldly views.
worldly views. I
Stuff
mean,
like
but
that.
even like All Falls Down, he's never gonna make All Falls Down again, ever. But I'm just saying, like,
We're all hung up on Kanye saying George Bush doesn't care about black people. And that's all where we'd like to go back to and
Absolutely.
see from there where
because Donald
we're
Trump
trying
don't
to
care
go.
about black people.
So we'd like
Right.
him in 2018 to say that,
Right,
right?
right.
For Kanye to say George Bush doesn't, I mean, Donald Trump doesn't care about black
But
people.
he was hanging with him though.
But he was hanging with him, so we're really thrown off.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna get out of this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what we're gonna get out of it.
I always have a speculation or have an idea in my mind of what the Kanye project's going to be, and I'm totally way off every time.
Me too.
Like every time I think he's going in a certain direction with it, and he's finally gotten here, and he became a dad, and this changed or this happened, and then it's bleached assholes,
That's
or
right.
something else happens, and I'm so thrown off of what my prediction of like Kanye's going through this in his life. This is what the project will be,
Right.
and it's never. I'm so out of sync with Kanye and his movement
feel
as
like-
far as what he's working on.
It's inevitable that he has to eventually. I would think that he would eventually put out like the mature, like grown
I've
up
been
Kanye
waiting
album.
for the mature grown up. I became a
Dad,
dad.
like,
My life changed.
It's
I'm
never
a
gonna
husband.
happen.
Like I've been waiting for that project for 2 albums now.
It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
It won't happen. He's not that person.
Yeah, I just I don't
Looks
even know if I
miserable.
care anymore.
I honestly think
I
that
don't
that's
think
what's
I can.
great
Yeah, I don't
about
know if I
Kanye
can.
though. That is what's actually like each album being so different, like either growing or being different. Like when Yeezus came out, one of the reasons that I liked it so much was because of how different it was. Like
Yeah.
it was, and all the albums that he had come out with before that always seemed like it was basically it was telling you what was going to come next in some way in hip hop. Like a bunch
There's some hints, yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like you know what it was for me with Yeezus. See, the first thing we got to hear was New Slaves when they was doing the projections on the wall.
Yeah.
And that shit has set, like, I remember me and Royce the 5'9" talked about that shit, and he was like, yo, I thought he was coming back to save the fucking universe. Because the shit he was talking about on that shit. Like, New Slaves, like, when you think about it.
But it's never that.
It's never, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that album was just for the interviews. It felt like he made that album just to do the interviews that he did.
Right.
Because the interviews that came from that time are more bigger than the album, really. Like, if you really talk about it, you ain't got the answers when we found out all that shit about him trying to get into fashion and all of that stuff. That's more known from Kanye than that time when he put out that album. Yeezus is a forgettable album. Them interviews is unforgettable. The joint he did with Zane Lowe. You know what I mean? All of that shit.
Right.
So, I don't know what we getting with this shit, man. I seen him with Nas. He had Nas go out there.
Yeah.
You know, Nas, Kid Cudi. But then we see all of this shit, and then it might not even make the album. How many times have we seen him with a bunch of people that never make the fucking album? So, who knows? I just want, I'm not going to say I
likes
want
everybody
something.
talking about him.
Right.
Kanye's in Wyoming making an album.
I know he got
Blah,
some
blah.
new
They know I'm
sneakers
here.
coming.
They know what we're doing is secret. Like, I don't know. There's something to me, like, we always go through this. Where was he? I don't remember. Where was he for the last project? The project. Everybody's going here to be with Kanye, whatever. And I think that I think it's like the old hip hop mentality of thinking of getting people to talk about you and the idea they're in the lab all together, having the time of their lives.
Cooking up.
Cooking up in the stew. Right. I mean, we'll see. You know, we'll see. I don't think he's gonna release anything that's not to his to his standard. So we're gonna get something that we eventually like. Because I don't think he's ever put out anything that I haven't liked.
Right.
It's certain things that I haven't been as crazy about as others, but I've liked everything he's put out musically. You know, but we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yep.
You know. What else we got, V?
I think that's probably it. There's not too much. Oh, wait, we had G's. He couldn't get on an airplane, and he used the XXL cover to
We
get
did
on.
that last time.
Yeah,
We did. I wasn't here.
Missed that.
So one big week to me, so.
Right.
I think
We do
that's
have
pretty much it,
the
right?
Bad Baby.
Oh, Bad Baby and Tekashi beef? I don't really know what
This
to make
is
of
He
like
said
what's
she's gonna pull
going
Is his
on?
name Tekashi anymore, or is it just 6ix9ine?
Just 6ix9ine, I think. I
Right,
think just
okay.
6ix9ine.
What's going on? Like what? I don't even know what planet.
I don't know
we're
how to
on.
respond to that one.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, yo. This is crazy. Like this is where we at, yo, in music, yo. And people don't make songs no more. They do Instagram videos. Like you don't wait for a record to come out. You gotta wait for you gotta keep watching the gram, see what next time you gonna post, or make sure you check the story, or they about to go live. Let's tape it.
Right.
It's like there's no fucking music, yo. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and just that it's not a beef. That squabble or whatever you want to call
I don't
that
even
shit.
know what it is.
Right.
Yeah, like that's just
I'm only
insane.
mentioning it because people are talking about it.
Yeah, because Bad Baby, she was talking that gangster shit.
He said she
She bringing the white girl mob back. You know what I mean? Like she's talking that gangster shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I don't. I'm gonna skip that one. Logic went on a meet and greet at the airplane. Let everybody come and talk to him and meet and greet them on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wayno's got nothing on that one.
I've got nothing on
I've
Logic.
got
I mean,
nothing on that one. It's a slow week. I think we could wrap it up.
wrap it up, B. We'll wrap it up then. Yo, I love that line. We'll wrap it up then.
All right, that's it. That's all we got. There's not too much going on.
You taking us out
I mean,
of this, V?
we're leaving all the Cardi B
Party,
stuff
Cardi,
out.
dirty, party,
Yeah.
dirty. Shove it
Because
dirty
that'll be out
party.
tomorrow, and we don't want to be late, so we can talk about all the.
I'm
Cardi
bumping
A,
Cardi B
Cardi-
shit 12 a.m., B.
Yo, I swear she
Same,
says
facts.
Bari like twice in that.
What?
She says
you
Cardi
think-
with Bari. She
Cardi-
says something like that. Yeah.
Shit, Barty or Cardi and a
Cardi
Rari.
with
Call my name
Barty's
out and I
all of my
fuck with
body.
it, like-
Diamonds on all of my body. Bitch, I got your bitch on Molly. Bitch, you ain't gang, you lame. Bitch, you lame.
Is she pregnant for the record?
I don't know, but she's fucking, so. She probably.
Shit.
Yeah, all right.
No,
And with,
yeah.
and with that, we're out.
Hey, we're out.
Oh, and by the way, since JFK forgot to introduce me in the beginning, I'm
I might have
Jabari,
cut him off.
the engineer. Yeah, y'all cut it. It's all good.
Sorry.
He's
all good.
So anyway, that's
Jabari, Barty, or Cardi. Barty, Barty, Barty.